What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Troy, and I know hoops, man. And today we're gonna be talking about the landscape of the round two NBA playoffs, man. Man, oh man. So playoffs been real entertaining, man. I'm not gonna lie. The playoffs have been really entertaining. Um, this round two though, bro. This round two is looking very nasty, man. Looking very nasty for a lot of teams. And I'm not gonna lie, two out of the it's two teams that I really, really truly believe that like this it's very nasty. It's very nasty for the both of them. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna start with the series that like isn't really that entertaining right now, and that's Timberwolves versus Warriors, man. Timberwolves are up 3-1 on the Warriors. I'm not gonna lie, Steph Curry got hurt. You can basically tell that was the end of the series. I'm not gonna lie. Anthony Edwards and really Julius Randle. Julius Randle's been absolutely hooping, bro. It's crazy because I wasn't the biggest Julius Randle truther. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't like how Julius Randle hoops. I don't like how he gets his buckets for real. You're 6'9", 2, whatever, and you're doing step back threes, and you know it's not really ethical hoops at all. But I mean, hey man, hey, it's working. It's working, man. You know, last game I watched was yesterday. Timberwolves was just really just gunning on the Warriors, man. Honestly, it was not the game that I thought it was going to be. I actually thought that Jimmy Butler was going to turn into God mode like he usually does, and start getting his buckets. But Jimmy Butler, I believe, only had about 9 shots. Let me make sure I'm right because that's what I remember, and that was like my key takeaway from that game. Yeah, Jimmy Butler 5 for 9, only attempted 9 shots in 34 minutes. 34 minutes, y'all. Draymond Green had more shot attempts than Jimmy Butler, bro. And you know, that's odd. That's very odd. Very odd. Jonathan Kuminga had 23 points. You kind of, if you're a Warriors fan, you kind of sit back and think like, damn, what if he actually played the whole series and wasn't only playing because of injuries and stuff like that? But as a whole, the Timberwolves just squashed the Warriors, man. Anthony Edwards had 30. Julius Randle had 31. I think a game before that, Julius Randle actually had a triple double, which was kind of insane. Yeah, Julius Randle had a triple double game 4. I mean game 3. It he been proving me wrong, man. Julius Randle's been proving me wrong, bro. Julius Randle has absolutely been hooping. And you kind of gotta wonder, this series is pretty much over. I don't think Steph Curry comes back from this hamstring injury or whatever he has. Julius Randle's been averaging 24 points, 8 assists. Julius Randle's averaging 8 assists right now in the series and 6 rebounds. Shooting 48.6%. This nigga crazy. But no. In all seriousness, though, Warriors are outgunned. It's crazy because they're outgunned because they're missing their best player, only one player, which is Steph Curry. But like, honestly, bro, this was kind of the outcome that was going to happen. Like I think I feel like I thought the Timberwolves were going to win. But I at least thought it would have been close because Steph Curry and Jimmy. And then when Steph Curry went out, I'm like, all right, damn, that means Jimmy can just do what he needs to do. Even when Jimmy Butler has a good game, like the Timberwolves are still getting up in them. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, bro, I think we can truly expect the Timberwolves to advance to the conference finals, to their second straight conference finals. Anthony Edwards has been on a crazy run. You know what I'm saying? He's on a crazy run right now. Can you imagine if Anthony Edwards beat LeBron and Luka first round, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler second round, either Jokic, the best center of the 2020s we have seen, or Shea, the MVP and 61 team Oklahoma City Thunder, to go into the finals? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? He gonna be in some conversations. He was in some conversations last year when he was going on his playoff run. When he beat Kevin Durant, Devin Booker first round, he beat the Nuggets in the second round, but then he eventually lost to Luka in the conference finals. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's also the way he's been hooping, man. Edwards has been hooping, and then the whole Minnesota unit of Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert's been hooping, Julius Randle's been hooping, Dante DiVincenzo not really hooping like that, but he's a part of the squad, so I guess he's hooping. Yeah, bro. Honestly, man, shout out to the Timberwolves are getting the Warriors out of there. Kind of funny to see, actually, now that I think about it. But let's move on to the more disappointing series, man. The Thunder and Nuggets, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I actually saw somebody talk about this. They said this is the worst like superstar versus superstar series I think I've ever seen. I'm not gonna go that far, but it is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. And I really want to go at Jokic because Jokic has not been playing like the MVP he's supposed to be playing like. And I feel like all right, so after game 1 where Jokic had 42 and 22, 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists, and they won that game. Jokic just took a complete nosedive in his gameplay. For the series overall, he's shooting 39%. Game 2, he had 17 points shooting 6 of 16. Game 3 had 20 points shooting 8 of 25. He went 0 for 10 from 3 that game. Then the last game they just won, he had 27. But he went 7 of 22, 31% shooting, guys. His assists, he hasn't been facilitating like he should be at all, neither, which is kind of crazy. Of course, he's getting to it on the rebounding tip, but his playmaking has been taking a nosedive as well. He just has not been having good basketball play, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of weird because in the game that he played bad, which was game 3, they still ended up winning. I'm not gonna lie, Aaron Gordon's been looking like the best Nugget these whole playoffs. I'm not gonna hold you. Aaron Gordon has been looking like the best Denver Nugget of the whole Nuggets playoffs, and I tip my hat to Aaron Gordon. You know what I'm saying? I hate him for how he did us in game 4, but he's been playing pretty solid. Now, on the OKC wave, Shay's stats are always going to tell the story, but I feel like outside of game 2, Shay has not been playing that good. He played decent last game, but aside from that, it's really just the basketball play that you got to look at from Shay. So I want to go to game 3. Shay took a lot of bad shots in the fourth quarter. He took a lot of bad shots in the fourth quarter, and what happened is OKC let the Nuggets get all the momentum and they ran away with it. Now, if you watch that game, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, he shot abysmal in the fourth quarter. Jalen Williams actually had 16 points in the fourth quarter, and J-Dub didn't touch the rock or get a shot attempt in the final, like, I think 2 or 1 minute of play. Shea was trying to foul bait almost the whole time. Every time he had a shot, he tried to foul bait. He didn't pass out of double teams, and when he did pass out, he would pass to Isaiah Hartenstein, who had like 3 floaters and 2 of them were air balls. Swear to God, 3 floaters, 2 of them were air balls, easy bunnies. In that game, I think that was the worst game I've seen OKC play. I'm not gonna lie, that was the worst game I saw them play. Yesterday was almost just as bad because, not even yesterday, 2 days ago, it was almost just as bad because J-Dub shot terribly. And in these playoffs, like, you really gotta take advantage of another team's second star shooting like shit. If you lose those games, because mind you, them games they're gonna happen at least once or twice. You're extremely lucky if it happens twice. If the second best player shoots terrible or shoots like shit. But in this scenario, bro, I mean, like, the Nuggets just so how I originally thought the series was going to go, I thought the Nuggets were going to win game 1 and the OKC just sweeps them. After that, gentleman sweep, 4-1. They win 4 games in a row. But aside from that, I'm looking at this and I'm like, damn, they just, like, the Nuggets, what OKC does is they took their foot off the gas pedal and the Nuggets just take advantage. All right, cool. But, like, you look at the past games that OKC lost, bro, they were just games that they shouldn't have lost. Like, game 1, they shouldn't have lost that. They really just shouldn't have lost that. They just, and then game, what was it? 3? Game 3, they went overtime. I think they got 1 bucket in overtime. And I think the Nuggets went on like a crazy, like, I want to say like 10-2 run, something like that. It was something crazy. But if we just looking at the hoops aspect, bro, both the teams are not really hooping like that. Both the team's best players are not hooping like that. Stats can tell you the story almost all the time in the basketball. And when you're looking at the box score and shit like that, when you're actually watching these games, bro, Jokic shot attempts have been utterly bad, but he's also getting fouled. He's getting fouled. They're not really calling it. Shea shot attempts, especially in the fourth quarter, I want to say were pretty terrible. Even like last game, they won. He had a few good shots in the fourth, but like it's he making them because he's a good shot maker. But like if anybody else were to shoot them shots, they would be all over Twitter getting blasted all over Twitter, bro. It's actually quite insane. But no, man. So the series is tied 2-2. I think this definitely goes to 7. I think this definitely goes to 7. And I don't know who takes this, bro. Like you can say it's going to be the Thunder because they had the best team, but you can also say, all right, game 7, Jokic. Jokic is the best player. And I wouldn't be mad if somebody said the Nuggets wins this in 7. I wouldn't be mad if somebody says the OKC Thunder wins this in 7. But you really just gotta. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. It's like I can definitely see OKC losing this shit at home. I can see it, but I can also see OKC running the Nuggets out the gym like they should have been doing. But the Nuggets are a great team. It was going at the Clippers for losing to the Nuggets primarily because this was the first time in the playoffs, like in a minute, that the Clippers were favored, and they ended up losing. And then especially like the way we lost, it was pretty shitty. But the way we lost was kind of crazier. But I do think that I got to come up with a decision. We're on the spot. Damn, I'm nervous. I think they played tonight, actually. I think OKC wins it at home tonight. Nuggets go back to their crib, win at their crib, and then OKC gets it done at home. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, man. So it's looking like, me personally, I see a Timberwolves and Thunder conference finals in the West. I definitely see that. But it very well much could be Nuggets versus Timberwolves in the conference finals. I can see that as well. But from what I want as a fan, I want Thunder and Timberwolves, bro. Give me Ant and OKC. Give me Ant versus Shea. I want to see that. I want to see that because Timberwolves been one of the hottest teams in basketball. Had been the hottest team in basketball, other than the Pacers. Actually, we're going to talk about them next. So yeah, Timberwolves and OKC in Western Conference Finals. Book it. We're going to talk about Cavaliers and Pacers, man. Shoot, man. The Indiana Pacers were playing the Cavs, and they won the first 2 games. But I had thought that honestly, they won those games because the Cavs were hurt, and they didn't really win by convincing fashion in those first 2 games. I'm not going to hold you. So Pacers won game 2 by 1 point, and that's because the Cavs were just being stupid. The Cavs were being dumb as hell. The Cavs had a 7-point lead with 1 minute, 6 seconds left. And I think they only scored once after that. Yeah, score was 110 to 117. They scored once after that. Pacers ended up winning 120 to 110 because Halliburton went crazy and had a walk-off 3-pointer. And now I believe game 2. Let me go to game 2 real quick. Game 2, they won by 9, actually. It was pretty convincing. They won by 9. Yep, they won by 9. And they just went on a crazy run. And when you really consider like how dangerous the Pacers are, bro, honestly, they score in waves. When they score, it's like they coming at you from 10 different directions for real. And that's just because they're so offensively gifted. And then you got Halliburton at the helm with his playmaking. Very interesting game that I want to talk about was game 4. Yep, game 4. Where the Cavs lost by 20 points. Now, before that, though, game 3, when they went back to the Pacers, everybody was healthy. Garland was healthy. Mobley was healthy. I think was DeAndre Hunter hurt? I think DeAndre Hunter was hurt. Let me see. He didn't play the second game. Yeah, so he was hurt. So DeAndre Hunter came back. Cavs absolutely demolished the Pacers. Garland didn't even have a good game, but it was off of Mobley. Max Strus was hitting. Jared Allen was looking like a top whatever center. And Donovan Mitchell had a 40 ball. So, and then Halliburton shot like shit. I remember this game because I bet on him. Yep, he shot like shit. Halliburton. All right, so yeah, that was game 3. Game 3, the Cavs completely took over, and I thought it was raps from there, bro. Honestly, I thought the Cavs were going to win 4 straight after that. But game 4, the Pacers just took their lunch money. It was bad. It was terrible, bro. They had 3 players in double figures. They had 3 players that had 20 points. Pascal had 21. Miles Turner had 20. Obi Toppin had 20. TJ McConnell off the bench had 13 and 8. He played better than Holly. Shit. 2 games in a row, he played better than Halliburton. That's how you know this offense is crazy. They actually had 7 players in double digits scoring. Yeah, 7 players, bro. Ben Shepherd had 14 points. I don't even know who that is. And then you go to the Cavs side, bro. Cavs side, Donovan Mitchell couldn't buy a bucket. He had 12 points, only played 20 minutes. Garland had 21, but after that, everybody was just trash. Evan Mobley had 10 points. Like, Tristan Thompson got minutes. Goddamn. Yeah, that game was bad. Tristan Thompson got 12 minutes of play. I don't remember last time I saw Tristan Thompson on the court. I'm going to keep it a bean. But, man, if you're the Cavs, where do you go from here if y'all lose? You know, in the offseason last season after they lost last year, there were rumors, bro, that they were just going to trade Garland or trade D. Mitch. They was going to keep one of them, but they opted to not do that. They had a great season. They won 60 games. They went 64 and 18. And you looked at this Cavs squad and you're like, God damn, like they were running through the East. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Donovan Mitchell, I consider Donovan Mitchell a very good playoff player. I wouldn't call him a riser, but he's definitely good in the playoffs for sure. And when I think about this series, bro, I knew it was going to be it was an offensive juggernaut, bro. It was going to be a heavyweight battle between 2 very good offenses, bro. Cavs got a better defense, though. So I thought I would give the edge to the Cavs because they have a better defense. With the Pacers, though, it's just like, bro, like you got to outscore them, and that's very hard to do. Like I said, they score on waves. They go on crazy ass runs, and they don't look back most of the time when they go on these runs. And the Pacers are up 3-1, bro. I think the Cavs play tonight. I think the Cavs win at home, but Pacers take that shit back in Indiana. I don't see the Cavs making no 3-1 comeback. I really don't see it. I don't see it at all, man. Like, especially the ugly game that I saw last game. What was it? Game 4. That was a very ugly game. I won't lie to you. That was the worst I saw them play. And it's crazy because when you consider this Pacers offense and you consider Holly didn't even have the best past 2 games. It's games where Halliburton doesn't really have the best games and the team still comes out crazy and still on top. I just think the Pacers are too good, bro. I really think the Pacers are too good. And this is going to be the second year in a row the Pacers advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. Crazy to say out my mouth. I'm not going to lie. This is a crazy statement to say out my mouth, honestly. Now, do I really see the Pacers going to the finals against the New York Knicks? Beating the Knicks to go to the finals? I don't know. And that's the next series we're going to talk about, man. The New York Knicks are beating the Celtics 3-1. 3-1. We're going to talk about these first 2 games, man. First 2 games, Boston was up, 20, sometimes 15? Knicks come back to win. Mikal Bridges in the fourth quarter is fucking amazing. Mikal Bridges in the fourth quarter is goddamn amazing, bro. Next to perfect, I guess, is what you can say about Mikal Bridges, bro. Especially that game, too, where he had the couple buckets, and he ended up getting a game-sealing steal on Jaylen Brown. He just took the ball from him like it was nothing. And a lot of people were going at Tatum for these games, man. I don't blame them for going at Tatum. First game, 23, 16, and 6. Stats look good, but he shot 7 for 23. And then when you look at the shots he was taking, bro. When you look at the shots he was taking, they were utter bullshit. They were utter bullshit. Not gonna lie to you. I don't know if it was game 1 or 2. It had to have been game 2. It had to have been game 2 because he shot like shit in game 2. He had 13 points game 2. He shot like trash. He was headhunting for Jalen Brunson. Jason Tatum is 6'9", 6'8". Jalen Brunson's what, 6'2", 6'1", and all he kept doing was just shooting over him, shooting threes over Jalen Brunson instead of taking him to the rack. And this is what people talk about when they say Jason Tatum isn't a superstar. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I agree. He's not a superstar. He's not. He's absolutely not a superstar. I saw a crazy ass stat. I saw a crazy stat from this YouTuber named Swish Out. I've been watching Swish Out for years. Shout out to Swish Out. Crazy ass stat, bro. So since last year's playoffs, there were Jason Tatum, right? Jason Tatum has shot under 40%. I took the screenshot on last Friday. There's a stat. Jason Tatum is 7-2 when he shoots under 40%. He has 9 games where he shot under 40% since last year's playoffs. And he's 7-2 in those games. Now, I actually looked at those games. There were a couple games where he had like 10 boards. He had 6 assists. Or for a forward that's, kind of known for scoring, 6 assists is pretty good. When you're shooting like shit, obviously, you have to pass the ball if you're shooting like shit. But and 2 of those games were in the finals, actually. Yeah, against Dallas last year. Yeah, 2 of those games were in the finals. Let me just go out on a limb and say this, right? In game 3, they absolutely shut the Knicks down. Jason Tatum had 22 points, 40% shooting. So he's actually not 8-2 when he shoots under 40%. Excuse me. Well, actually, no, he shot right above 40%, but still. That was a great game. Game 3 versus the Knicks because in my head, I was thinking the worst thing the Knicks can do. This was when they were up 2-0 at this point, 2-0 at this point. I thought the worst thing the Knicks can do was let Boston get 1. I thought that was the worst thing they can do. And they did game 3 at home in Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Al Horford had 15 points, 9 rebounds. Peyton Pritchard had 23. I keep telling y'all about Peyton Pritchard, bro. If Peyton Pritchard goes on his own team, he's going to be crazy. But I guess he doesn't mind his role against the Nuggets, bro. I mean, again, I guess he doesn't mind his role in the Celtics. I don't know why I said Nuggets. Derek White has very common three pointers and 17 points. Jaylen Brown was hooping. They just completely demolished the Knicks, bro. This is a game where Mikal Bridges didn't have the best game. Josh Hart didn't have the best game. Jalen Brunson was doing all he could offensively. Cat didn't really have the best game neither. So they go back to game 4. We're going to go to game 4 now, man. I was actually watching the first couple minutes of game 4. Jason Tatum he heard the noise, bro. Jason Tatum, I think, had like 15 points in the first quarter, some shit like that. It was crazy. It was bananas. But then throughout the game, man, Jason Tatum just kept hooping. And then the Knicks came back again. The lead wasn't as bad this time, but the Knicks, I think they had to have been down like 8 or 9 at one point, bro. Came all the way back for I think end of the third quarter was crazy. Then the fourth quarter, they started really hooping. Jalen Brunson. I don't think it's crazy to say Jalen Brunson's the best point guard in the league right now. Is it crazy to say that Jalen Brunson is better than Luka Doncic right now? I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. Especially after the series Luka had. I don't think so. Is Jalen Brunson better than Shea right now? Is that crazy to say? Shea's an MVP conversation, but as of right now, Jalen Brunson is having the best playoffs out of the point guards. Is it crazy to say he's the best point guard right now? No. Is Shea still better than Jalen? Maybe, but I'm not going to lie. Jalen Brunson is the best point guard right now. Right now. And it's kind of hard to deny it. You can't say he's not. You feel me? Mikal Bridges. I don't know why I keep saying Miles. Mikal Bridges, man. They put them 4 or 5 first-round picks to work. Mikal Bridges in the beginning of the season, and they haven't looked back, and it has not been looking like a bad decision at all. Mikal Bridges had 23 points. He was getting whatever he wanted. I was watching the game. He got whatever he wanted. OG Anunoby looking like one of the best max players in the league right now. Was getting to a bucket. Shout out OG Anunoby. Karl Anthony Towns was absolutely getting to a bucket. Getting to a bucket, bro. And the worst thing that could have happened to the Celtics happened in the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum gets hurt. The best player clearly on the floor at that time got hurt. And he actually had 42 points. He had a great game. This was a great coming out party for Tatum, especially considering the past couple games that he had. He had a great game. Derek White had a great game. Jaylen Brown, after Jason Tatum got hurt, that shit was over. It was over. New York took full advantage of that. I think what happened with Tatum was Jaylen Brown passed him the ball. OG Anunoby just hopped right in them passing lanes like he was prime Jalen Ramsey. But he bumped into Tatum. Tatum's leg kind of leaned awkwardly. He was grabbing at his ankle though, or near his Achilles. So I really hope it wasn't an Achilles injury. But yeah, bro. The Knicks are up 3-1 on the Celtics. I wasn't expecting this at all. It's kind of crazy. It's actually not even kind of crazy. It's actually very crazy. So tomorrow, man. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, that shit's up to you. Y'all decide how y'all go out. I'm not going to hold you. You either go down swinging and go take your ass right to Madison Square Garden and try to fight 3 games in a row to go back to the conference finals, or the Knicks and Pacers are going to be in the conference finals. And I'm not going to lie, Twitter has been bashing that matchup. A lot of people saying, oh my God, can you imagine a Pacers versus a Pacers finals? If the Pacers make the finals, is the sky falling? I'm not going to lie. If the Pacers make the finals, I'm not going to lie. Hot take, I'm cool with it. We need some parity in the league, bro. We need some parity in the league. A crazier stat, though, that I've really been peeping is that I want to say 5 years in a row, maybe 4 years in a row. I believe it's 5 though. The finals winners, the teams that won the finals the next year, don't even get past the second round. I'm gonna fact check myself. Give me a second. So last year, the Nuggets won the finals in 2023. They lost in the second round to the Timberwolves. The year before that, it was 2022. Golden State won 2022. They didn't make it to the conference finals. The year before that, the Bucks, they lost in the first round the next year. So they won the championship 2021. They lost first round the next year. Before that, the Lakers won 2020 and 2021 finals. They lost in the first round, I believe. So with that being said, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, man. It's a crazy stat. It's a crazy stat, man. Apparently, if you win the finals, you don't go back. That's apparently what happened. Now what I do want to say is, what I do want to say is, this conference finals is going to be very, very, very weird in a good way. In a good way. A lot of good matchups. And some parity, bro. That's all I've really been wanting in these playoff matchups, bro. Give me something different. Give me something different, bro. And we're getting something different. The conference finals is going to look like, in my opinion, I feel like it's confirmed that the Pacers and Knicks are going to be in the conference finals on the East. In my opinion, I think in the Western Conference Finals, it's going to be Timberwolves and Thunder. If it's going to be Timberwolves and Nuggets, that's even better. But that's different. That's different right there. And then the finals, I'm not going to lie. I got to see who wins between Thunder and Nuggets, though, before I make a full finals prediction. But shit, bro. I mean, it's crazy. This is crazy. Pacers and Knicks get their rematch from last year's second round. Crazy. And everybody's healthy too, so that should be fun. Knicks lost because I think like a lot of people were hurt or ended up getting hurt. But yeah, bro. Eastern Conference Finals is going to be crazy. Western Conference Finals is going to be even crazier. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up. Round 2, man. That's going to wrap this up. I think who plays today? I think the Pacers and Cavs play, and the Thunder Nuggets play. Yep. Let me just double check that. Yep. Pacers and Cavs at 7:00, and Nuggets and Thunder at 9:30. I think the Cavs win at home, like I said, but then they lose Game 6 in Indiana, and then Nuggets and Thunder play tonight at Thunder. I think the Thunder win at home tonight. Nuggets win Game 6 at the crib, but OKC takes it at home. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me, bro. I'm actually doing a double upload today, bro. I'm gonna be talking about the draft lottery. I can't wait to talk about that. So I'm out. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.